Mr. Languth, I was reading, and listening to your testimony and reading your written testimony about the saga of the 5 left, 2, 3 right runway at RDU. The primary runway delayed by over 7 years. I think Representative McDowell asked you whether you had a number as to how much that cost. It didn't have an exact number.
Yeah, so from a fiscal standpoint, to maintain the current runway, current investment's over $30 million. By the time we get the runway complete in 2029, just to maintain, it's going to be $50 to $70 million. This doesn't include all of the additional reports that the
So it's not, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Yes, sir.
It's not completed yet.
Oh, no, sir.
2029?
2029, yes, sir.
Okay.
We're under construction right now as we speak, as fast as we can.
So, as I understand your testimony, one of the delays was the FAA requiring an environmental impact statement rather than an environmental assessment. Can you explain the difference between those two and why the impact takes so long?
Yeah. So in layman's term, an EIS, environmental impact statement, is actually run and developed by the FAA. If they feel like there's a higher level of potential environmental impact or public scrutiny on a particular project, they may drive it towards an EIS. We had gone back and suggested, after looking at all the evidence, because we were building inside the current fence line, it made sense that an EA was the right way to go, only to find out that after we provided that, they said, no, we want to go with an EIS. And 4 years later, they reverse course and say, just kidding, we're going to go ahead and do an EA.
Oh, they went back to the EA. Okay,
Back to the EA,
that's
and we
what
actually
I
completed
didn't
the EA.
understand. There's already a runway 5 left, 2, 3 right.
There is.
It's in the airport environment. It's, as you say, within the fence line.
Correct.
It's a big slab of concrete. or
All we're doing
asphalt.
is we're going to make a runway 500 feet, 550 feet from its current location.
Way parallel.
That then allows us to reconvert the existing runway into a taxiway, which then allows us to get into a gate program. Without moving that runway, you can't get into a gate program, and you're looking at a multi-billion-dollar new terminal that would have to be built. It's the most cost-effective way to get additional gate capacity, but you have to move that runway first. And the current runway was built in 1985. It's truly at end of life.
Right. And there are, of course, environmental impacts to doing a project this big, but the runway's already there.
Yes. Runway's still going to be
Obviously, airplanes landing and departing, fuels are being burned, birds are being struck. We hope not, but okay. It's just mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling that the FAA would delay the project that dramatically. Yeah. What reforms can Congress do to fix this? I know you, in your testimony, you said consider the recent FAA Reauthorization Act, which includes language on alternative project delivery. Quote, the administrator approves the application using criteria established by the administrator. What can we do to fix this?
Yeah, so what I highlighted for you a little bit is sometimes when a laws actually get passed, a lot of times what you do is you might write something that, well, the administrator will figure that out.
Right.
And when you do those types of things, what the administrator is going to do, and they're trying to do the right thing, is they're going to go develop guidance documents.
Right.
So they are going to interpret and develop that how they thought Congress wanted to put that together, and typically that becomes a very long process at the end of the day. So if they can be as specific as you possibly can each time you pass legislation, then what it does is the administration has got to follow the letter of the law and doesn't provide them the opportunity to kind of expand and add additional requirements that may not have been the intent of Congress.
Right. Sort of a Chevron problem. You mentioned that, the passenger facility charge, PFC, has been kept at $450 since 2000. You argued that modernizing it would help airports like RDU fund critical infrastructure. I can't think of many things other than maybe the Medicare fee schedule. I'm a physician that have done that have stayed steady since 2000. How would raising the PFC impact air travelers, and what could those additional funds be used for?
So again, for us, it would be used for things like a runway.
Right.
If you look at the AIP formula and the criteria, runways typically are number one in terms of overall funding.
Okay.
But if you look at the overall contribution we're going to see from the federal government, My entitlement's about 1%, my discretionary is about 2%, 3% is coming out of that program at the end of the day. So that PFC does provide us lots of capability. A $1 increase to me translates into over $8 million a year times 20 years. That's $160 million for a dollar, for a dollar.
Okay.
So a dollar will go a long way to help pay for critical infrastructure at the end of the day.
Thank you. I yield back.